Well, hello there. It's been 4 weeks since my last update due to all the activity regarding Play Expo. Play Expo is now over and very exhausting but fulfilling it was too. Great show. So let's get back on with the game reviews, and the first review I'm going to do is Micro Mouse, which was on the Mastertronic Plus $2.99 branding. Let's take a look at it. Here we go. Packaging. And as you can see, it says Micro Mouse in a big bold logo at the top there, and it's got a mouse running around, presumably inside a micro, maybe a BBC micro, or perhaps Commodore 64 might be more suitable. Anyway, so there you go, and it's got the Mastertronic Plus logo at the bottom there, and on the spine we've got a repetition of the logo, and there's a confirmation that it was a $2.99 game. And on the back we've got some screenshots, as you'd expect. Not quite sure what's going on there, and a little bit of information there. It seems it's a challenging maze game packed with frantic action. So let's take a look inside, and we've got the usual stuff: loading instructions, how to control the game, and a bit more info about sort of background about the game. In an effort to save money, the powers that be have decided to use small robots to repair damage to the circuit boards of a huge microcomputer. Yeah, whatever. I don't know where the mouse comes into this because I can't see any mention of mice in there. Oh well. And there's a bit more. Blimey, training soldier droids even, sorry. Oh, there's some mention of a mouse. I don't really know what's going on with these instructions. I'm sure it'll all become clear when I play the game. And there's also some foreign language stuff, as you'd expect if you've been watching these videos for any length of time. And also an advert for the Well-Odd t-shirt, which we've mentioned on previous occasions as well. So there you go, there's your inlay, and here's a loading screen, rather a cute one at that. Seems to be a mouse driving half a Reliant Robin, or perhaps a Sinclair C5, who knows. But there's the Micro Mouse, and some copyright information there, Mastertronic and Lothlorien, who we've already seen do a few of the Mastertronic games, so obviously a preferred developer for them. So there's the loading screen, games coming up soon. Okay, so here's the title screen, quite similar to the other Lothlorien games, and there's some familiar names on the credits there as well. And some unfamiliar ones like Pseudonym doing the code. And as you can see, you've got a nice logo at the bottom of the screen with a little mouse walking along, quite nicely animated. You've got the option of playing with a keyboard or joystick, and I actually use a joystick. So let's get started. So your little mouse, which again is very nicely animated, appears on the screen, and you've got to walk around these little tracks. And these little baddies, which do drain your energy if you walk over them, create these little breaks in the tracks, so you've got to go into these little first aid booth things, don't know why they're first aid booths really, and pick out the appropriate piece of track to replace the tracks with. And I can't see where that one is at the moment, but the little box there tells you which design of track you've got. There you go, so that one will fill that gap there. There's two bars on the left hand side of the screen. One's your health going down, and one's the number of breaks in the track, which obviously goes up. So there's a piece of track over here. Oh, stop following me. Stupid things trying to follow you around and drain your energy as you're walking along. annoyingly. So there's one more piece of broken track somewhere. Ah, there it is. And when you've completed all the broken pieces of track, the little computer screen there flashes to say that the circuit's completed, and that you go to the bottom of the screen and that finishes the level, and you go to the next one and do much the same, but the layout's a lot more convoluted, as you'll see in a minute. You see they decided to spell out micro mouse in the middle of this one. Not that you actually can walk down any of that, but there you go. And that one's finished already, that was nice and easy. I guess you've just got to complete the breaks in the track before the time runs out. You can see a timer ticking down in some kind of arbitrary time units there, as befits most computer games. So there we go, that's another level complete. Any remaining time at the end of each level gets added to your score, which you can see there. You've also got 4 lives, which are denoted there. So, what can I say about the game? It's quite colourful, nice representation of the circuit boards, and the little baddies moving around on them are alright, nothing really special about them, to be honest. Oh, that's annoying. The annoying thing is when you go into these bays and it swaps the piece that you're just trying to get placed in the right place for one that is completely different. So that's a bit annoying. Music's quite nice, sort of playing along in the background there. There's a vertical piece broken somewhere. The mazes get very big and it's quite difficult to make your way around them and fill the gaps before another gap's made somewhere by one of the baddies. As I mentioned, the animation of your little mouse character is quite cute. The background, this bluish thing, is horrendous, and that's really nasty when it's moving around as well. But the sort of drawings of the circuit boards are quite cool. I like the edge connector there on the left. Now on this level, it's actually broken into 2 halves, and the other half is down here, which is really annoying when something breaks a circuit at the top half. You've got to traipse all the way back up there to get that, so it's a little bit on the annoying side. It's getting a bit more tricky now, as I'm sure you might have guessed. The other break must be in the top half of the circuit board, which, as I say, is really annoying to have to go all the way back up here just to fix something. And while you're doing that, of course, something down the bottom half's breaking another bit of circuit somewhere. Handily, everything's breaking the same style circuit at the moment. I'm guessing I'll go back down here again now. Yeah, there's one. With a bit of luck, this will be the last one. Yeah, there we go. And I can just escape to the next level. Just in the nick of time that time. So I'm on what, level 5 now? You get the idea. It's quite a nice little sort of puzzle game. It's quite frustrating at times. Moving around the maze with the joystick's quite difficult, and I think it might actually be easy to play with keys. On this level, you've got bits of track that you can only go down one of 2 directions, as pointed out by the arrows, so I can't go that way. I can only go that way across those. It just adds to the challenge. It's also very large and complicated. Still got my 4 lives left. What does the next level bring? Wow, this is huge. Where's the... oh, there it is. However, despite that huge maze, I've actually completed it already. Winner. I think it's quite a nice game. You know, unusual. It's a bit similar to one of the other Lothlorien games that I reviewed a couple of months ago called Octoplex, where you've got to walk around this sort of convoluted maze and complete various actions. That one's just ridiculous. So yeah, it's kind of similar to that, and they've all got a fairly similar style, these Lothlorien games as well. You know, kind of nice tunes, nicely polished graphics. Certainly amongst the better offerings for Mastertronic stuff, although they were all released later in the life of the Commodore 64. I can't find where this piece is supposed to go at all. There we go. So yeah, nice game. My only criticism really is it's possibly just a bit boring. It depends how challenging you like your games, I suppose, but it's not been too challenging so far, though I can't actually see myself completing this one successfully, because the maze is just huge and really difficult to negotiate. There's loads of breaks here and there's nothing anywhere near them to get the bits to fix them, which means a lot of walking around in a circle, by which time something's made another problem somewhere else. You can see my time's running out. I'm about to die on this one. I'll just fill that piece just in the nick of time there, otherwise I would. So as you can see, when you blow up, your mouse goes a bit black and angry. The music goes quiet. Press the fire button and off you go again. You start exactly where it left off, and there's still the same number of breaks in the track, which is quite high now. I can't see myself getting out of this level in any way, shape or form. There's too much to do. This is probably the level that most people get to. Right, so I'm on my last life. Time is rapidly running out, and this level is now impossible because there's just no way to catch up once you fall behind with filling all these little gaps in the tracks in. You've just got no chance, especially on this one where they all seem to congregate as far away from the little first aid bay things as you can possibly get. So yeah, I think what it's missing is some way of actually stopping the baddies from going in certain places, or even just killing them. But if you look at the state of this in the middle here, and every time I've got to go back to one of these two and get the right piece to fill it in, I've just got no chance. So this will be the end of it for me. But all in all, not a bad game. Worth the $2.99 I think. Certainly provides a challenge. Nicely put together. Good graphics, nice sound. Doesn't seem to have any kind of high score table. Just that's game over, and it just goes back to the main menu. Haven't seen any high score table or even just a high score, so even though that was my high score, it's now consigned to history, it would seem. As is this review. That'll be the end of this one. Tune in soon for the next one.